Okay, Terapagos takes the Helping Hand boosted Glacial Lance. That's pretty big. We knock out Incineroar. Do we get the Scald Burn? We get a crit. We finally get a Scald Burn in this video. Oh, Terapagos narrowly survives the Glacial Lance thanks to the Scald Burn. Get a nice little drop into the Flutter Mane. Get a big Terra Starstorm. Take out the Calyrex. Weaken the Flutter Mane quite a bit. VGC Legends time once again. This is, of course, the series where I spin a wheel, get a random legendary Pokemon, speed, build a team around that Pokemon, and try the team out on the Regulation I ladder for the same two reasons as always. One, that I like legendary Pokemon conceptually and a lot of their individual designs. I just want to give each one its due. And two, that by trying a bunch of different teams, some good, some bad, some in between, I have fun and maybe learn some things along the way. Let's find out what today's legendary is. No doubt an interesting one, right? We're going back to Gen 2 once again. We're really flying through those right now. It looks like we're going from Entei straight into Suicune. Alright, well, Suicune is an interesting Pokemon. Let's see what I can figure out to do with it. Alright, earlier in the series, way earlier, we had Articuno and Zapdos back-to-back. And now this time we get Entei and Suicune back-to-back. That's pretty cool. Suicune can do a lot, actually. It is fairly bulky. You know, fairly bulky. It's a non-flying type that gets Tailwind. So that's interesting. It's not a fast Tailwind, but it certainly is a Tailwind setter. Does it get Scald? It does. It gets Scald, it gets Snarl, it gets Roar. There are a lot of support techs that Suicune can run in service of, I guess, giving his team some speed control and helping to mitigate damage coming back the other way. But what is the best way to use it? I'm not sure. Oh, also it gets inner focus like the other two in his trio, so Suicune doesn't care that much about its attack stat. I mean, I could run a no, actually, that's quite a bit lower than the special attack than I realized. But it can't be flinched. That's still nice. Yeah, I think I've pretty much pulled the highlights out of its move pool already. It does get Sheer Cold, which is kind of fun. I don't know if I'm going to find any Suicune results here. Probably not. But I will take a look. Walking Wake, but I don't see Suicune. Let's check all the others. Santiago. Don't think there's any Suicune. Utrecht. I mean, I'm not expecting to find any Suicune. It's not a Pokemon that's really popping off. But I'm checking anyway. No Suicune here. And yeah, no Suicune here either. So Top Cut Explorers have no help this time. Let's try Munch Stats. I'm sure it's getting enough use to show up. Oh, 0.07%, just barely enough. Scald, Tailwind, and Snarl are used by a majority of them. Hydro Pump is the next most common move. It does also get Icy Wind. I did glance over that. Gloss over that. I glossed over that, but Tailwind is more valuable speed control anyway. Helping Hand, Whirlpool. Calm Mind. Somebody's trying to set up Calm Mind Suicune. It gets... most common item is Throat Spray. The Snarl. I guess your Scald does a little bit more damage then. Or your Hydro Pump. Leftover is reasonably common. Citrus Berry third, but pretty distantly so. Most common restricted partner is Zamazenta. Rayquaza is next. Shows you, I think, how little Suicune is used, although so does this number right here. Looks like it is used on Rillaboom, Zamazenta, Qianpao teams. Catarrot, Calyrex, Koraidon, Terapagos. Honestly, nothing here is really inspiring me. Terapagos might be decent, right? Calm Mind Terapagos with Suicune. Tailwind, Scald, Snarl. A lot of different techs to help your Calyrex, or not your Calyrex, your Terapagos set up and try to sweep. I could see it being used actually with Terapagos and Shadow Rider Calyrex. Or Zamazenta. But Shadow Rider is a Pokemon that relies on going very fast, outspeeding opponents and hitting them hard. And it gets into speed ties and has the issue with opposing Tailwind. You have your own Tailwind. That's something, right? And we can do Rillaboom, Incineroar, and maybe like Grimmsnarl. I actually think Miraidon might be better than Shadow Rider Calyrex, though. Because Miraidon also can passively keep Terapagos from falling asleep with the electric terrain. I think this is going to be a Calm Mind Terapagos team. Calm Mind. Leftovers. I'll probably give Suicune the Citrus Berry. I know horses shut it down, but it's still not useless. Fair Grass. I think we drop Roar for Protect. Roar is kind of fun to deny opposing Trick Room, but I don't think it's going to matter on this team. And I think we do want all three of these moves. Calm Mind, Terra Starstorm, something else. Do I want Shadow Rider Calyrex? Do I want Miraidon? Or do I want something else? I think Miraidon is good here. Obviously, dual terrain with Rillaboom feels a little bit weird, but you know, sometimes one terrain is advantageous and sometimes the other terrain is advantageous. I think it's fine. And Fire, Water, Grass Core likes having an electric type partner, I think. I could even do Electric Seed, Calm Mind, Miraidon, but maybe I don't want both my restricted Pokemon all in on Calm Mind like that. I probably want Miraidon to just do big damage, right? Put it in like a late game closer role. Maybe I should go back to Shadow Rider Calyrex then, because it's so fast. I don't know. Specs Miraidon. Pretty strong. I think it's just like a typical Specs Miraidon is fine here. Assault Vest Rillaboom, probably a Rocky Helmet, Incineroar, with like Terra Bug. I can do a Fake Out Pivot move on both of these guys. Grimmsnarl, lately I've been liking, I mean Terra Ghost, but it probably never Terrasilize this year. I've been liking Light Clay, Reflect, Light Screen, probably Thunder Wave. That's a little bit more speed control then. I probably can't bring Suicune to every game with this team, so that's fine. And Spirit Break. Set screens. Intimidate. Double Fake Out. Grassy Terrain Recovery. Big damage option. Suicune. Versatile support. Maybe this isn't the best kind of team to bring the most out of Suicune, but I don't know. It makes sense to me at face value. What other attack, if any, do I want on Terapagos? If I'm running Miraidon to deny sleep, maybe I should run Shadow Rider Calyrex, actually. It's also strong into fighting types, which give Terapagos trouble. I mean, stopping sleep is nice, but is it really that important? I think I'll go Calyrex. That gives me somebody to carry the Focus Sash on this team. Probably just like a typical Terra Dark. Or I could go Scarf Calyrex even, and have the speed advantage over other Calyrex. But I think the Focus Sash is fine. I could run Pollen Puff or Encore instead of Nasty Plot. I don't think I need Nasty Plot on this team. Say Astral Barrage, Psychic. I think I believe in Encore a little bit more than Pollen Puff. I think clicking Pollen Puff into Terapagos is not usually going to be the best use of Calyrex's action. Not never, but I think it's pretty rare. Terra Dark. And then back to this question. I don't know what the good coverage move on Terapagos is right now. I could just default to Earth Power. Probably don't have a better answer to Miraidon than that, right? Rillaboom changes the terrain, but it's not very threatening into Miraidon. Suicune has Miraidon issues. I think I'm good with Earth Power. I mean, but Miraidon could just be Terra Starstormed, though. Earth Power would be for, like, your, I don't know, Steel types. Like a Dialga or something. Honestly, I don't have the best answers to that either. I'll stick with Earth Power, I think, and Protect. And I think I can make the cut here and fill out the rest of the team. It's going to be very typical stuff that you've seen many times if you watch this channel. So let's go. Okay, I haven't used Terapagos in a while, and this team is pretty much built around getting Terapagos set up. Be interesting to see how that goes, and it'll be interesting to see how Suicune does with kind of this generic damage mitigation and speed control if I need it set. I'll make an intentional effort to bring it to games, I think. And yeah, if I get some Scald Burns, some Snarl Drops, get some timely Tailwinds, maybe Terapagos can power through some teams, but I don't think Terapagos is doing great in the format right now. I haven't kept track very closely. We'll see how it goes. Kyogre, Miraidon, Tornadus, Cornerstone Mask, Ogerpon, Miragol. Urshifu. Is this the exact same first opponent from last episode? I don't know. Maybe I'm making up nonsense. Tornadus is an issue because it could have Taunt. But I'm going to bring Grimmsnarl, Terapagos, Rillaboom. I said I was going to be intentional about bringing Suicune to games. I don't know that this is the best game for it, though. I'll bring Calyrex this time. I don't think I need to force Suicune every game, right? But I should try to force it sometimes. They lead Kyogre or Urshifu. They're looking to overwhelm Terapagos, and they just might be able to do that. As, of course, Urshifu doesn't care about Light Screen. Sorry, it doesn't care about Reflect. Unless it clicks Close Combat instead of Surging Strikes, and then it cares about Reflect. I'm gonna Light Screen, turn 1, and Calm Mind. Ooh, Terra Water. Yeah, they just want to hit hard with that Surging Strikes. It will be resisted this first turn. But look at that damage. That is gonna hurt after this turn. I think probably if Grimmsnarl gets through the turn. Oh, never mind. Terapagos doesn't. Alright, well there I guess we start to see the issue with Terapagos in this format. What I was thinking was Terrastallize, Thunderwave, Urshifu, Terra Starstorm, but yeah, I don't get to do that. Torn. I guess I can Thunderwave Kyogre now. Try to Woodhammer it. How do I ever beat Torn? Yeah, there we go. Calm Mind Terapagos just getting overwhelmed by big damage turn 1. Might say something about how the current meta looks for it. Now I've just about traded Rillaboom for Kyogre, which under different circumstances might be fine, but I'm just so far behind this game. They still have the option to click Tailwind. So, yeah, when this one was probably doomed when Terapagos went down. But we'll see. Thunderwave Torn here. And I guess I'll just click U-turn into Miraidon. They'll probably knock out Rillaboom with something before I get the move off. I missed the Thunderwave. Volt Switch Grim. What are they doing with Torn? They could just Bleak Windstorm and then Tailwind next turn, yeah. To overwhelm Calyrex. Alright, rough first game, but we've had those before. We'll see how it goes from here. That Urshifu is just a nightmare. This opponent has Koraidon, Shadow Rider Calyrex, Whimsicott, Chi-Yu, Fluttermane, and Brute Bonnet. Encore Whimsicott is obviously an issue. But I'm just going to do my thing here. I can bring Incin. Once again, though, how do I get Suicune into this game? Honestly, I think by leaving Shadow Rider behind and going all in on Terapagos, which is a problem when they have a not a Grimmsnarl, they have a Koraidon. I have a Grimmsnarl. Calm Mind Whimsicott. Big threat here. But I'm just going to Light Screen this turn and Calm Mind. Encore Whimsicott. Oh, it's Taunt Whimsicott. That's also a problem. Yeah, when I said Calm Mind Whimsicott, of course I meant Encore. It's probably in my best interest to Reflect here. But I'd like to get damage into Whimsicott. But we'll just do that and Terra Starstorm. But that Heat Wave damage is going to add up now. Grimmsnarl drops. That doesn't mean I can get somebody else in. Try to threaten Chi-Yu. I didn't bring Shadow Rider Calyrex. Probably wouldn't want to Terrastallize that anyway. Let's go. Honestly, Suicune. And let's Scald Chi-Yu and Terra Starstorm Whimsicott again. If I switch Whimsicott out, the Tailwind. We get another big Heat Wave. Terapagos, you know, is taking damage, but the Taunt Whimsicott is off the board now. Big Scald into Chi-Yu. Taunt ends. Good timing on that. It would be nice to burn Koraidon here. I'm not sure that's optimal. It might actually be better to switch to Incineroar. I might want to switch Terapagos out to Incineroar next turn anyway. They get a Heat Wave burn into Suicune, so I'd better go Scald Burn now. Nope. It's not even worth clicking Tailwind, is it? Because they're still going to outspeed me. Maybe when their Tailwind is gone. It's Clear Amulet, Koraidon. Probably just gifted them my Incineroar. Suicune gets a Citrus Berry and takes a Collision Course as they focus on attacking that still. 2 Scalds into Koraidon, still no burn. I can't Terra Bugs. Chi will just knock me out. Maybe they stay focused on Suicune and I get a Will-O-Wisp into Koraidon here. They Flame Charge Suicune. Okay. Koraidon's burned. I feel like that's necessary for me to have any chance in this game, but I don't feel like I have much chance anyway. I guess I can try to Tailwind here. They'll probably knock Suicune out before I can execute that. I'll go for a knockoff into Chi-Yu. Collision Course Incineroar. Incineroar is knocked out. Suicune survives and gets the Tailwind. This is so scuffed though. Suicune drops to burn damage. I don't get another Scald into Chi-Yu after that. Do I have to just Terrasilize here and Starstorm? I think so. Not going to do much damage though, is it? Maybe I protect this turn. But I am burning my own Tailwind turns, and also my Reflect is about to wear off. They protect Koraidon here anyway. So I was never getting Starstorm damage into that. Actually, if I'd known they protected Koraidon, I would have preferred to Calm Mind there. But oh well. Just going all in on the Terra Starstorm now, I guess. Chi-Yu's still faster, it's Scarfed. Terra Starstorm doesn't KO anything. But the good news is Koraidon can't survive a turn of burn damage now. I mean, that's pretty weak as good news goes, but it is something. I think I just lose to Chi-Yu, though. Heat Wave KOs as long as it connects. And I'm sure Calyrex is coverage for me as well. Yeah, Heat Wave KOs. Alright. Can Terapagos do something? Has Terapagos fallen so far? This person is an Iron Bundle. They could have Encore on that. They also could have Taunt on Qianpao. They also have an Urshifu of some kind. And just for completion's sake, they have Landorus, Kyogre, and Black Kyurem. I'm sticking to my guns. Bringing Suicune. Guess I'll bring Calyrex. Incineroar's not terrible here, but Incineroar's pretty bad here, actually. It's good into Kyurem and Qianpao, but that's maybe bundles as well. Okay, it's not that bad here, but I'm going to bring my Restricteds. Bundle Ogre. So yeah, I do have to watch out for Encore Bundle, but what am I going to do? Not set up with Calm Mind? What else is Terapagos here for? And I'll go for Light Screen. Good news is that comes out before that speed boost. Actually switch Kyogre straight out to Kyurem. Go straight for an Icy Wind. I'm not really worried about speed here. I have a disadvantage in that anyway. I'll heal right back up into Terra Shell range here, although Bundle is breaking the Terra Shell, so it doesn't really matter. But I'll go for another Calm Mind, and I'll go for Reflect. Thanks to Prank. Bundle can Encore Grimmsnarl because it doesn't have Prankster, it's just fast. But that means my Prankster goes before it. No Encore so far from the Bundle, though, as Terapagos takes that High School Spear reasonably well. I'll protect here to get some recovery, and I think I'll Thunder Wave the Bundle. Although it hasn't shown, it might have shown Encore by now if it has it. I miss? Yeah, it probably doesn't have it. Icicle Spear damage is a problem, though. Can I Thunderwave the Bundle now? Would I rather Thunderwave the Kyurem? Let's see. Let's try this. Terra Ground. Okay. That's interesting. What's that for? Just like random thunderclaps or something? I can understand ground bundle with like discharge Miraidon, but they clearly don't have that. I don't really know what they cooked here. But I'll go Suicune. I am weak to freeze dry, but I'm also bulky. And I'll happily take a Scald into their bundle if they let me. Tailwind would also be nice. I'm not sure I'll get the chance to do it. They're still sticking with the Icicle Spear, though. KO bundle. Chanpao. Oh, those Icicle Spears are going to hurt now. But I think here's where I Terrasilize and start clicking Terra Starstorm. And yeah, I'll go for a Tailwind with Suicune. We'll see if they let me get away with that. Crunch. There's a fair bit to try. Oh, defense drop. That's really, really bad. I don't take this if it 5 hits. It doesn't 5 hit. Okay. Whew. Oh, man. It's still scary, though. Let's see if they let me have their POW. Otherwise, they're threatening Sucker Punch into Terrapagos. Sucker Punch Suicune. That's fine. Get my berry. Take the KO. They're left with Kyurem and Kyogre. More turns of Tailwind. Hope it's not Scarf Ogre. Honestly, I'm down to Snarl, though, just to weaken it. Okay. Well, it definitely went before Terrapagos, despite my Tailwind, but the Origin Pulse didn't do very much damage after all my Calm Mind boosts. I get a Snarl drop, I get pretty big Starstorm damage. Last turn of my Tailwind. Terrapagos is not in Origin Pulse range, probably. I mean, maybe it's a roll. This damage roll is pretty close. But they forfeit, so don't have to worry about that. I was very lucky to only take 4 hits from that one Icicle Spear when a 5th one would have KO'd. But in the end, Terrapagos was just able to pull this out. So it does get a win, at least one in this video, and with Suicune supporting it, no less. The problem with Terrapagos with the Tailwind Suicune, though, is that because I'm just going very bulky on my Calm Mind Terrapagos, it's still being outsped by some of these threats in my own Tailwind. So maybe I haven't perfectly set Suicune up to shine here. Not getting those Scald Burns is also pretty unfortunate, though, in that other game. Anyway, Miraidon, Calyrex, Shadow Rider form, Urshifu, Tornadus, Fairy, Origraph. Interesting team. I hope it's not Taunt Tornadus. Yeah, I have one way to play here, right? I think I just don't bring Suicune to Miraidon games. Sorry, Suicune. I didn't bring in Incineroar to help deal with the Shadow Rider, but I mean, hopefully Terrapagos can help deal with the Shadow Rider. They have emoji in their nicknames. I didn't know you could do that. I guess I've never really thought to try. They're electric. It's just going for big burst damage immediately. Electro Drift into the Terra Shell. Still does so much damage. Oh my god. Oh no. This is, yeah, okay. We're seeing why Terrapagos is struggling in this format, I think. Oh man. I'm gonna protect. Let's Spirit Break. Maybe they KO Grimmsnarl now, though. Nope, they went for Terrapagos. The Bleak Wind. I'll definitely get the Spirit Break into Miraidon, and then I can switch Grimmsnarl out to Rillaboom. And I don't get a Reflect, but like maybe I keep Terrapagos alive for some time at least. I guess the alternative is I could just Terrasilize Terrapagos right now and threaten Miraidon with the super effective Starstorm. I think I'm good with that, actually. And still get my Reflect. They seem to really want to just take this KO with Miraidon. Yeah, so they don't switch it out. Terrapagos takes those hits and KOs Miraidon because they Terrastalized. Their other restricted is Shadow Rider, so Terrapagos naturally matches up very well into it. Here it is. It could have Encore. It could. I think I'm down to go for Calm Mind and Thunder Wave the Calyrex. I miss. Feels like I've been doing that. Oh, they've disabled. Oh, they disabled my Terra Starstorm. That's not great. Do they also have Encore? That would be really something. I'm going to protect here, and I'm going to try again to Thunder Wave this Calyrex. I feel like I've been missing a lot of Thunder Waves this video. But not that one. Thanks to the dynamic speed. Oh, they went for Psychic and a Terrapagos anyway. But yeah, Tornadus takes out the Grimmsnarl, so they don't get a Grim May boost right now. Can I just go my Calyrex? I think I'm better off going Rillaboom here. Get grassy terrain, which Terrapagos might really need at this point, and I'm threatening big Wood Hammer into there. I forgot that my Terra Starstorm is disabled though. But yeah, let's see if I can get this big Wood Hammer. Not too worried about taking Bleak Windstorm with Assault Vest behind a light screen. I did not see a Focus Sash there, but the roll was just 99%, so we knocked it down to the invisible Focus Sash. But yeah, that double recovery is adding up. Oh, I hit back by accident. Just protect here and Grassy Glide the Calyrex slot. They don't have Miraidon to switch in to change the terrain. They could have Farigiraf in the back, that's possible. Pretty bold of them, though, if they didn't bring Urshifu, but I guess that would explain why they were playing the Miraidon so aggressively in the early game. Maybe they do have Urshifu, but I think the way they're playing, they probably don't. Anyway, I get my Calyrex in here. They still have the option to set Tailwind, but I still have my Focus Sash intact, and yeah, it is Farigiraf. That's what I expected at this point. That actually makes my Calyrex not that useful, but Terra Starstorm and Psychic into Torn. Psychic knocks it down to 1. That ought to be plenty to win this. Foul Play, Farigiraf doesn't KO behind the Reflect. Take out Torn, and Farigiraf is just never doing enough at this point. Terra Starstorm and Psychic. Not really much point encoring it into Foul Play, and of course it's immune to Astral Barrage. So Psychic is the best option I have here. I mean, I could protect, but it's really not necessary. It drops to the next Terra Starstorm anyway. Yeah, Terrapagos will close this one out. Okay, next. That Miraidon was very scary in the early game, but because they Terastallized right away and they were playing so aggressively, I think, again, because they didn't have Urshifu in the back, they were really trying to get that KO on Terrapagos with Miraidon, but it made them very predictable. And so I was able to pretty safely Terrastallize that one turn and knock out the Miraidon without much in terms of boosts because it had made itself weak to the Terra Starstorm because they were playing it so aggressively trying to get that KO so they could win with Calyrex when they hadn't brought Urshifu. I think it's all pretty clear, right? This person rejected open team sheets immediately. They have Kyogre, Tornadus, Bastiodon. A little bit unusual. Gets Wide Guard though. Urshifu, Incineroar. Oh, Bastiodon also gets Iron Defense and Body Press, which is really scary for Terrapagos. Urshifu, Incineroar, Miraidon. I'm just going to lead the same lead I'm always leading this video. I'll bring Suicune. Suicune is actually one of my best Bastiodon answers. And yeah, that's why I'm doing that, even though I said I'm probably not bringing it to Miraidon games. Bring Rillaboom. That means I leave the Calyrex behind, but that's okay. We're just all in on Terrapagos here. Hey, I have Earth Power. That also helps with Bastiodon. In fact, maybe I should have stuck with not bringing Suicune to these. Anyway, familiar lead position. Let's see if I can Calm Mind and Light Screen. This one is Taunt Tornadus. Surely there was going to be one of those sooner or later. Well, oh, I can't even protect. Honestly, I think I just switched to Rillaboom here and Spirit Break Miraidon. Set Tailwind. This is playing very differently from the Tornadus in the last game. Good damage. And a special attack drop, and I've changed the terrain. Here, I think I'm down to U-turn the Miraidon slot, and honestly Spirit Break it again. Kyogre doesn't want to come in on that, nor does Grimmsnarl. Incineroar's okay with coming in on that, I guess. But they still chip. Is it Helmet Incin? Doesn't look like it. I'll go Suicune here. I can threaten Incineroar with Scald. They can't fake out Suicune because of Inner Focus. I mean, they can, but it won't flinch. I'll go for the Scald into Incin. I'll try to get a Reflect here. I might as well try at some point. It's not the most useful because their physical threats are Bastardon and Urshifu, which has a guaranteed crit attack, but you know, at least it softens like a close combat from Urshifu, and maybe the body press Bastardon will matter if that's their last Pokemon. They taunt Suicune, that's okay, I didn't click Tailwind. Scald, might KO now. Nobody really likes to switch in on Scald, even Miraidon, right? Because the burn would be pretty annoying with how much damage it's already taken, but also I can Spirit Break that slot, so if Miraidon does switch in, and it's really stuck. Still don't know what the last Pokemon is, but Kyogre and Bastardon, or Kyogre and Urshifu also don't want to switch in on Spirit Break. Now I know they didn't bring Bastardon. That's something. Yeah, Kyogre takes a Spirit Break drop immediately. I can try to Thunder Wave it. It's useless if they go Incineroar or Miraidon. I can't Thunder Wave either of those because Prankster immunity and Paralysis immunity. Can I just Snarl here? And honestly, I'll just try to Thunder Wave whatever I can. Even just some full paras could come in handy, right? They Thunder Suicune. Look at how bulky Suicune is. That didn't do... I mean, it's after a special attack drop as well. That didn't do too much. I don't think I care about Tailwind right now. Also, they could taunt me again. I'm going to try to Thunder Wave Torn. They switch Kyogre out. They're probably leaving Torn in. Now I've paralyzed everything I can. That could come in handy. It really could. I'm down to throw a Scald at the Incineroar slot again. And a Spirit Break. Grimmsnarl has taken a couple of Intimidates, but their special attackers don't want the drop. Suicune consumes its Berry. I don't have Grassy Train on the field anymore, but I do knock out Incineroar with the Scald. Spirit Break into Torn is not the worst thing. Oh, especially with my light screen ending here. I'm down to go Rillaboom here, and I'm down to set the light screen right back up. Terrafairy, okay. Dazzling Gleam takes out Grimmsnarl. Does some damage to Rillaboom. Rillaboom takes the Bleak Wind Storm, though, after those Snarl drops. Spirit Break drops, whatever I got into that thing. I could go Terrapagos here and just click Terra Starstorm. Kyogre's paralyzed. Tornadus is paralyzed. It means I never set up this game, but I think I'm okay with that. And I'm also just going to throw a Wood Hammer at the Miraidon slot so Kyogre can't comfortably switch in. But yeah, I'll just Terrastallize, get super effective Terra Starstorm on Miraidon if it stays in. Otherwise, you get the Wood Hammer here. They taunt Terrapagos, that's fine. I'm not trying to set up anymore. Yep, Kyogre's gone. Quick U-turn into Miraidon. They'll probably knock out Rillaboom. But the key here is Terrapagos, which takes the Electro Drift very nicely despite never having set up and gets both KOs. And there we go. With Suicune being so bulky, I was able to just kind of slow this one down. Spam debuffs into my opponent. Paralysis, Snarl, Spirit Break. Take out the Incineroar with Scald. And even though I never got the Terrapagos set up, it broke through in the end, so that's fun. Fluttermane. I don't know why I was blanking on this thing's name for a moment there. Fluttermane, Mimikyu, Rillaboom, Ice Rider, Calyrex, Groudon, Incineroar. So this could be some Groudon Trick Room stuff. It could be. Well, I mean, I think I just do what I do here. Incineroar is a bit of an issue. I'll bring Suicune and Calyrex. Calyrex outside of Trick Room can probably threaten a lot of their Pokemon. Fluttermane is probably faster in Sun unless they've given it special attack boosting stat distribution. But Sun won't necessarily be up at all times. I even have a one-time button to remove it, right? So, and we'll see what happens here. I'm going to protect Terrapagos this turn on a likely Fake Out. I'm going to go for Light Screen. They could Fake Out Grimmsnarl, but they still don't get to KO Terrapagos, or even chip Terrapagos in that event. They do look like they would Terrafairy. They probably want to remove Grimmsnarl, but they didn't Fake it out, so I do get a Light Screen. It looks like I'll also get a Reflect. If they knock off Terapagos, though, that's a bit of an issue because I didn't bring Rillaboom, so I get no recovery on it after that. They go straight for knockoff. Well, they went for fake out first, but yeah. Yeah, there's no recovery now on Terapagos, but I'll just Calm Mind here. And I think just go for some chip into Incin. They land their Precipice Blades. No chip into Incin. Parting Shot. I want to get Terapagos to +2 and then try to go. I can't just set up forever, obviously, when I have no recovery anymore. Maybe it's just time to start attacking now. I mean, I can bring this in, right? These two are kind of slow. The Groudon's actually not that slow, but I think I'm just going to Astral and Terra Starstorm now. The good news is if they Terrasilize this, yeah, they don't. Then it would be weak to the Starstorm. That's why they didn't do that. Groudon takes that uncomfortably well. They can fake out Terapagos now and threaten Calyrex. I'll just double protect here. And then I should still be in a strong position next turn. Maybe not if they go Mimikyu, actually. Everybody protects except Incin. I'm gonna Starstorm, but I'm actually gonna go Suicune here. Because I'm worried about Calyrex being knocked out by Incin before I KO it back. Okay, Precipice Blades. See, the damage on Terapagos is adding up, but... Oh, I guess Terapagos was faster than Incin. So I could have just Astraled and Starstormed there, and actually it would have been better. But since I'm running slow Terapagos, I didn't trust that. My bad. Well... Let's see if I can get a Scald Burn into their Calyrex. See, that would be a good thing to know for, if this were a best of 3, for adjustments after game 1. Knowing that my Terapagos is faster than their Incineroar gives me a lot more options to put pressure on them in a game 2 or 3. But we don't get those in this ladder. Okay, Terapagos takes the Helping Hand boosted Glacial Lance. That's pretty big. We knock out Incineroar. Do we get the Scald Burn? We get a crit. We finally get a Scald Burn in this video. There's Flutter Mane. I think I'm down to Protect. Actually, no. I think I should just Starstorm. And Snarl. Oh, Terapagos narrowly survives the Glacial Lance thanks to the Scald Burn. Get a nice little drop into the Flutter Mane. Get a big Terra Starstorm. Take out the Calyrex. Weaken the Flutter Mane quite a bit. Suicune drops a Moonblast. I guess Shadow Rider Calyrex. And I just hope that Dazzling Gleam doesn't KO both my Pokemon. Actually, Terapagos should go first, shouldn't it? Yeah, so it just wins. Perfect. Clutch, Scald, Burn. Yes, I was thinking the Snarl drop. The Snarl drop was nice too, but Clutch, Scald, Burn from Suicune there, finally coming through with that. It is interesting that Suicune still gets Scald, because that move is not as widely distributed as it used to be, and Suicune is more of a sort of a cold-flavored water type, you know? Gets a lot of ice moves associated with the wind and the Aurora. It's a water type that I could easily see not having Scald anymore, but very convenient for me that it does. Ice for Calyrex, Miraidon, Grimmsnarl, Urshifu, Incineroar, and Landorus. Bop, bop. Let's just make this game sort of tricky in a similar way to the last one. Let's see how that goes. Terapagos Grimmsnarl. Calyrex Grimmsnarl. Yeah, this could get dicey for sure. They could have Spirit Break, they could have Thunder Wave. could just do a lot of damage. What am I going to do? Reflect, Calm Mind. They do just Spirit Break Terapagos. If I had Covert Cloak, that would be fine, but I'm a big believer in leftovers on these bulky setup mons. I guess what I do here is I Calm Mind and I try to Spirit Break their Grimmsnarl. Just get that damage into the Dark type there. I mean, maybe I should set Light Screen, but... let's get this Grimmsnarl out of here if we can. They're doing the same thing to me. Their Grimmsnarl went first. I have no speed investment. I don't know whether it's a tie. My Grimmsnarl did way more... oh, because I have Reflect and they don't. That's why mine did way more damage. The good news is as long as they're not clicking... you know what? Actually, here I think I'm going to Starstorm the Grim and get my Light Screen. As long as they're not clicking Spirit Break into Terapagos, it can actually boost. Ooh. Alright, they got a timely Light Screen to survive the Starstorm there, but... honestly, I'm down to just Thunderwave their Calyrex. Might get a full para. They did the same thing to my Terapagos. Finally take out the Grimmsnarl. They take out my Grimmsnarl, they get a Chilling Neigh boost. That's not great. Who's coming in? Weird Grimmsnarl matchup here. Since I've paralyzed their Calyrex, I can never burn it now. That's not ideal, maybe. Definitely not ideal. Definitely maybe not ideal. I'm just gonna pull the big damage board now. Oh, they Terra Water. Do I get my Starstorm off? Surging. Not gonna KO. Do I get fully paralyzed? No! Oh, they get Trick Room. Oh dear. Oh. Well, they've kind of weakened their Urshifu at least by setting Trick Room. %. We survive on 1%. We get fully paralyzed again! Terapagos had a chance there. But 2 full paras in a row, I think will sink it. I can't even burn their Calyrex. Protect. I have no way to weaken the damage from their Calyrex. I can fit. Okay. I can fish for a Scald Burn on Urshifu. That's 3 full paras in a row now. I don't get the Scald Burn. Now I've clicked Scald into Miraidon. Suicune never pulls this one back. They miss a Leech Seed, but I think that's a lot less important than the 3 consecutive full paras, though. That's pretty unfortunate for me, but that's Pokemon. They take a full para now. As if the game wants to let me know. These things happen on all sides, but yeah. That's it for Suicune. I don't think I need another game with it. I think it did enough in this video. Pretty unfortunate turn of events in this game, but that is Pokemon. Play enough of this... play enough of any competitive format, and you'll be on both sides of that kind of thing several times. Anyway, Suicune was fun. It wasn't amazing, but it had a couple of clutch moments. I think it's safe to say that we can see why Terapagos has some issues in this format, although, hey, maybe Calm Mind is not its best set. Maybe when the wheel gives me Terapagos, I'll try Specs or something. Meteor Beam. We'll find out. In any case, who knows what's next on the wheel? That's something, as always, to find out next time.